topic. The NFL QBs are abusing the slide rule. So I got a couple videos for that. First off, everybody saw the Trevor Lawrence fucking hit.
Yeah, there's so many like that. Yeah, there's a lot of that. Yeah.
So I'm gonna play it just to give everyone a visual.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the most current, right, of this season. Thing is with that one in particular, what's his name, Aziz or something? What the Texans guy that hit him? It's not really a fair comparison because this guy's had multiple dirty hits this season, right? But
yeah.
Well, the point is, this hit brings into question.
Oh my! That'll be Al Shire, who's flagged for the big hit on the slide, and that's going to start a little bit of a scrum afterwards as the Jaguars come into.
So, check this out. Patrick Mahomes does this all the time.
We're going absolutely crazy for this Patrick Mahomes play because, of course, they were saying, "How did he do this? How did he break off this run?" Well, I'll tell you how he broke off this run because it's bull. The commentator said it's because of this pump fake, but actually, it's because right here, Mahomes fakes stepping out of bounds, and all three defenders let up because, God forbid, if you touch Patrick Mahomes out of bounds, you will get charged with assault. Look, this is just like a few years ago at the college level when Kenny Pickett was at Pitt. He ran for a first down against Wake Forest, faked the slide right there, took it the rest of the way for the touchdown. The NCAA banned that play. So it would only make sense with how protected quarterbacks are that the NFL banned faking running out of bounds. But because it's Patrick Mahomes using it, I don't think that's going to happen. The commentators were going.
So first of all, here's what Mahomes had to say, which I think
maybe you take advantage of quarterback rules over on the sideline, and you saw this Trevor Lawrence hit. I think we've talked about this before.
I think it's a little unfair they're trying to put Trevor Lawrence on him, but it's definitely a topic that needs to be addressed, and he's the guy that does it most.
Unwritten rules about hitting quarterbacks, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just playing football at the end of the day, and I don't feel like I've ever put anybody in jeopardy of not wanting to hit me. I mean, I know when you get an open field, guys want to hit you, and I get down when I feel like it is necessary to get down, but there's times in big spots in the games where I know I need to get first downs, and I go for it. And so it's not taking advantage of any rules. I think more than anything, it's me being smart in the moment of knowing when not to and when to go for it. And you've seen that for me in the playoffs, and I feel like you see that for me in big spots in games because I know that sliding at that moment is not going to get us the win, and I'm all about winning. No, I'm big on when I do slide, trying to get the head down because at the end of the day, man, it's a split-second decision, and I know guys playing the sport, I mean, for the most part, 99% of guys are not trying to hurt anybody. They're just trying to make plays, and those guys are flying down trying to stop you from getting first down. So when I do slide, I try to get my head down as quickly as possible and try to avoid those situations. But that stuff happens in football, and luckily Trevor's all right because, I mean.
Well, he's not all right, but anyway, but he makes a good point, like, he's playing within the parameters that are set, and you're going to take a risk. You know, you want to constantly fake it. You're going to get risk of getting hit. But the thing is, some people like Trevor, he wasn't faking. He really slid and got lit up. So at what point is the NFL going to just say we're going to ban that play? Like if you're running to the out of bounds line, you're out. Or call a flag or something like, or do we just let this ride? I mean, what do you see playing out with this dilemma that has arisen in the past few weeks? I know right here, Dan Campbell, let me cut that. He told the refs before the Bears game, because Caleb Williams does this a lot too. If just letting you know, if he does this, we're hitting him, and he did. He got hit hard doing this, and the refs didn't throw a flag. I know last night, Lamar Jackson, he didn't fake out of bounds like that, but he did get hit outside in the out of bounds as he was coming out. They dragged him down and ripped him down, and no flag was called. So it's like almost like the refs are catching on and being like, we're just not going to call this. So what's the point of having the rule? When can they pick and choose it? We get into that NBA issue where the refs are just having too much control, right? What do you think the NFL should be doing about this situation, if anything at all, Kelly?
So, yeah, I think to your point, Mahomes and these people are just going to take advantage of the rule, which there's nothing wrong with that because that's what the rules are. I mean, that's how you get good at a sport. You learn the rules and you manipulate them. I think so. They're always going to protect the quarterback. They're the highest paid position in the league. I think it's one of the hardest positions to play in all of sports. I mean, that could be a different debate, but they're going to protect them. They're going to do everything they can to protect them. Also, though, the quarterback has to realize once you're out of the pocket, you are a runner. And if you're going to play those games like Mahomes, there's no rule on saying, or there's no guarantee that any of those players would have held up and not just completely wrecked Mahomes on the sideline there. Yes, they chose to do it because they knew they'd get the flag and possibly get fined. But especially in the NFL, you have ringers out there, man. You have people. You have people out there that will just go ahead and send a message to him, like Dan Campbell said. Dan Campbell went out to say, "Hey, listen, we're gonna crack them." So you have that going on. I think what they should do is I think the sliding technique isn't right. I think you have a better shot. Like the idea is to protect the head, but now we see the back of the head always getting slinged back, right? I think it's safer to dive at somebody's fucking ankles, man. If you're, what I mean? If you're Trevor Lawrence in that position and you're running, you almost have better protection than instead of dropping down and sliding to drop down and dive towards somebody's ankles, So yeah, I don't think there's, I don't think they'll do anything about it. And if they do, it's not going to, like you said, it's going to be towards the quarterback always. It's always going to be towards the quarterback. All they're going to do is end up finding the fucking, finding the defense. Right now, the rules in the NFL are so bad. They might as well, they're heading towards flag football. So, yeah.
I definitely agree that they're just playing with what they have. And one person doing a fake, is not gonna hurt the other person. That's them trying to come at Mahomes for that. And I don't even like Mahomes like that, but that was kind of unfair for them trying to put him on for that hit. And it's like, during that play, it was their choice, the defensive choice to pull up. Yeah, because they would have got a flag. But like you said, if you guys get tired of it, make a statement. Yeah. One good wreck on Patrick Mahomes that threatens his career, he'll stop doing it.
Yeah, make him think twice for sure. Yep.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, well, you don't want to do that because then that guy will be out for a season or that'll end his career. And it's like, okay, well, then how? But it comes down to how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
Was he making a point with Trevor Lawrence? Was he tired of that shit? Did he observe Lawrence do that outside of that particular play before? And he said, fuck it, I'm going for it. Is he just tired of quarterbacks doing it in general? And he's just like, I don't care. I'm headhunting. And if he is, should he be suspended for it, or should it just prompt a closer look at these players' frustrations on it? I don't know. But definitely, I think that slide thing, like you said, is not a good way to do it. The head definitely hits back every time. You see it right there. Gave him a concussion. I think diving. I've always said that too. I think diving is a better option. Dive at their feet. Bury up, you're fine.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think, Drew? What do you think about all that?
I think diving at someone's feet is crazy work. I think you're definitely gonna get fucked up doing that because you're leading with your head, I think the best way would to be get your head down, like Patrick Mahomes was saying, in the slide, try to almost get your whole body parallel with the ground. But I don't know. I think it's tough because you want to keep quarterbacks healthy because they're the most important position. But I kind of feel like once you get out of that pocket, I feel like, or at least past the line of scrimmage, you're a runner. I think you should damn near have the same implications on you. I don't like. I think they play a little favoritism on quarterbacks, like especially like a Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, like that golden boy is always going to get that treatment, unfortunately. Which I mean, I feel like it makes it unfair for every other quarterback. But I don't think. Yeah, I guess my opinion would be that they do take advantage of the slide rule, though.
Yeah, so hold on. So let me introduce this into there. What if the running back started doing it? You know, what if every
Well,
running
if a
back just
running
ran
back
through the
started
hole and
sliding,
started
it doesn't
sliding?
matter. It's just quarterbacks have a different rules
But I'm
But
set
saying
yeah,
though,
on them.
but with the defender, but I'm trying to say though is can a running back take advantage of the slide rule
Mm-mm.
in the same way the quarterback could? I mean, because technically, if they're giving their body up by sliding, that defender can't hit them, or it's a delayed hit. I mean, this is the things we got to ask ourselves. That's why I
Yeah,
say, you know, the diving. Yeah, when you're hearing the word diving, yeah, of course, that's why they do the sliding in the first place. Because theoretically, you're like, oh, take your head out of the game. But now we have video evidence, and not just with Lawrence. I mean, throughout the years, where you know if the defender doesn't want to let up and hit you while you're diving, the back of the head is just getting whipped against the ground. I mean, um, you
but
look at running backs when they run the ball, you know they're lowering their shoulder, they're lowering their head, and they have a less
yeah,
likely chance of getting these concussions. You know, and but with all that being said, that's just me trying to make it better for the running backs or for the quarterbacks. I think the quarterbacks just have a better chance of keeping their eyes up and their feet underneath them and kind of just taking the hit for what it is. Um, but either way though, the way the football is going, man, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised in 10 years if it's fucking flag football.
so for me, personally, as a tight end, and just in any form of contact or wrestling or in jujitsu, anything like I've always had more success burying my head forward and taking a dive at feet because the feet aren't you're launching from your feet with your head and shoulder. So if you dive at their feet, you're gonna like I'd say 9.8 times out of 10, you're gonna just go right under them, and they're just gonna grab your back as they fly over you. Like I feel like you said, the running backs are burying their heads. I felt better taking hits with a dive and a burying my head down. Because what I do, I smack my face mask off the ground at most, rather than getting that whip like that, like you're saying. I mean, I've always, with that back head, felt like that was dangerous.
Yeah.
And it's like Patrick Mahomes said, he could try and do it like this on the slide, sideways. But I mean, like Trevor Lawrence, you could see he was going for it, but he got hit before he even got parallel.
I think
You
Trevor
know,
Lawrence slid way too late.
I don't know, dude. That was a lot of. We can watch it again. Let's watch it again. Hold on. Let's see here. Let's play it back again. Nah, he slid. He slid before he launched. He slid way before he launched, dude. He just came hard. He launched hard. And you got to remember that these guys' brains are not receiving things as fast as. So if Trevor Lawrence thinks it here, and then it's going to take 4 seconds for him to do it, or like 3 or 4 seconds. I can't remember the exact number. And then it's going to take 3 or 4 seconds for Shair to recognize it, and then 3 or 4 seconds for him to tell his brain to change course.
So the problem with that is Chenier knew that he was going to slide. He knew he was.
Right.
And the
What
whole
else is he
point
going to do?
and the whole point of this conversation is like how you said, are the quarterbacks taking advantage of it? Because here Patrick Mahomes was like, well, they know I'm going out of bounds. So guess what? I'm gonna hesitate, do a little hezzy. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I'm saying it's on the defender. He's gonna make the choice whether he's gonna fucking clock you or not. You know what I mean? And
Right.
that's just the risk you're going to take in football. That's why, if I was a quarterback, I would not put myself in a give up position of sliding.
I
And
never see Lamar Jackson give up. I see him get tackled every time because he gets wrapped up at the waist and it's more safe.
I've barely seen him do it. I've seen him do it, but I barely see him do it because he knows he's in a lot of traffic now. Now Jackson runs up the middle a lot. He's in the middle in the teeth of the defense. Trying to slide and then risk somebody falling on top of you from behind, and so it's just better just to keep your feet underneath you.
So with the Texans, personally, I think so. Here's the thing: with the slides, they should keep the rule. But with the out of bounds, you should be getting hit. You shouldn't protect a quarterback running out of bounds. You should. I think.
Well, they're always going to protect the player from out of bounds. The thing is like, but I get what you're saying. I guess
because they're faking more. They're more doing like. I mean, they're faking both. I've seen them. We've seen them do the fake slides, but I feel like the fake slides you can easily adapt and still hit them, and they don't gain more than a yard extra. Whereas the out of bounds ones is very, I mean, that you could easily turn another 16, 25, even a touchdown run, a 65-yard run doing that. That's far more dangerous to the integrity of the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Than the slide. The slide is like, if he's going down, he's going to go down or he's not. Like, but if he doesn't, he's going to slow to a point where you could still grab him. Like, that's crazy being on the ground. But this being on your feet and running back in bullshit, if you're not out, you're not out. Like how many times we see players run the sideline? It's all the time. Like, they shouldn't treat that like, oh, he's going to run out. But does he have to? Or change it to where if you're running towards out of bounds, you're out. You can't come back in. You run back in, they're going to call it down. Loss of forward progress. Something like that. But that out of bounds thing is where it gets crazy. But I think the sliding thing, I think that was on Alshire totally. And he's a ringer. This isn't his first hit. So that's why I don't think them trying to blame Mahomes for that Trevor Lawrence hit is fair. I think that's all on Alshire, but it does bring the point that where, like, okay, maybe the injuries aren't on players like Mahomes doing this, but at what point are we going to say this is cheating?
Right.
So,
yeah.
Drew, anything additional?
No, I don't really have much to add.
All right, here we go. The NFL MVP debate.